is extradition to the United States, where at the moment the Attorney General is trying to invent a law by which to prosecute Julian Assange.
But judicially at the moment, that's another matter though, isn't it?
It's another matter, but it is the subtext to all of this. It is another matter, certainly. And the court has dealt with the matter at the moment, and he will, I think, later on today be a free man, albeit with all sorts of conditions, but he's been granted bail, as he should have been granted bail a week ago. It's outrageous that he was sent to Wandsworth Prison.
And the reaction in court when he was granted bail by
I think most people were pleased. The prosecutor wasn't pleased, obviously. I thought the case that she presented was absolutely weak. I sat there thinking, what is this doing in this courtroom?
Did they present anything in court that they hadn't already presented over the previous two occasions?
No.
And can you shed any light on why it might be that he's not released today? Why there might be a story?
Oh, there's a whole thing of the sureties have got to go to the police station to prove who they are. It's a bureaucratic thing, and it shouldn't. You know, he should be released. He should be walking out now. But the bureaucracy of the court is such that has to be satisfied.
Obviously, the fundamental question as to why he can be released on bail or not is whether he would abscond. How can you be so sure that he won't?
Well, if you heard the argument in court, there's no doubt that he's not going to abscond. There's no reason for it. He came to this country willingly. He went out of it. He came back to it. The police have known where he has been since the day he arrived. He's never been a fugitive. That's been a media story. I've known where he is. Everybody's known where he is. So he's not likely to abscond.
And there's some confusion over who brought this appeal about. It seems as though it was brought about by the CPS, the British lawyers.
I think I don't know about conspiracy theories, but I think it's outrageous the CPS has gone along with this. I mean, when you look at yesterday, when the day before, when the Swedes appealed, if you look at their appeal documents, it says that they won't allow any conditions of bail. I mean, what's he done? You know, murderers get bail. Financiers who abscond to Cyprus for many years, come back and drive around their Bentleys, get jail. Even rapists get bail. Get bail. The fact that Julian Assange was refused bail was a gross injustice, and that has been corrected today in a limited way. He has many conditions, which I don't think he should have, but at least he's going to be a free man.
This will need to be for BBC News. If we do it right now, right away. We're just over our lifetime, so there you can.
Well, I'm going to go away.
Excuse me.
Okay, mate.
Excuse me.
Here he is. Oh, it was a glimpse of justice. And the good news is that Julian Assange will be free, we hope, today, once all the bureaucracy has been done. But really, the unspoken in the court is the threat of him ending up in the United States. That's a long way off yet, but that's the subtext to a lot of this, I believe. I think that the Swedish matter, I don't believe he'll ever be found guilty of whatever he's supposed to have done in Sweden. But it's beyond that is should be the real concern for those of us who believe in justice, democracy, and all those pleasant things.
How was Mr. Assange's condition today? How was he?
He looked okay. He looked fine. I'm not sure how I would look after a week in the punishment block at Wandsworth. He certainly looked relieved when the judge finally made it clear that he was going to give him bail.
Do you think he will be leader of his company?
Sorry?
Will he be a leader of his company?
Will he be the leader of his country? Yes, yes. He's been the leader. He's the editor-in-chief of WikiLeaks. And
what's going to happen when his visa expires?
I don't know.
Sorry, he's been granted conditional bail. Are you satisfied with that?
No. I think he should have been granted bail without the conditions. All the discussion about whether a plane would fly into this country estate and spirit him away in the middle of the night were all very conspiratorial, but they're also nonsense. Julian Assange is not going anywhere. He's come to Britain accepting that this is where he might get a form of justice that he wouldn't get elsewhere. And let's hope he's not let down on that.
Why is he being delayed? Why is he not walked out now?
Oh, it's because the sureties have to go to police stations and show they've got enough money or something. It's bureaucratic, that's all.
Have you paid, John?
Hey?
Did you pay?
No, they've got so many sureties, mine wasn't.
You don't think he's a sexual offender?
Beg your pardon?
You don't think he's a sexual offender?
I don't. No. Do I think he's a sexual offender? He's an innocent man until proven otherwise.
This way.
Did you get a chance to confirm that?
No, I didn't. No.
You must be very relieved that you followed this role.
I am very relieved. I'm not very relieved. I'm relieved. I'll be very relieved when he's free and this whole charade is ended.
Do you know how he feels about the activists?
The activist, he knows he's got huge support, and that has encouraged him. I told him when I spoke to him on the phone in prison that the support was unremitting, and that cheered him a lot.
Did he support the hacking of the MasterCard websites and PayPal?
Yeah, well, they're MasterCard, they're not getting away with it, are they? So, where are you?
I think it's Johnny, you live?
Okay.
Hi. Mr. Pilger, thank you for talking to BBC News. Can you give us your reaction to the reviewed bail conditions today?
Well, this has been a glimpse of justice, but of course we should never have got to this stage. Julian Assange should have been given bail a week ago. He should never have spent a week in the punishment block at Wandsworth Prison, but he has been given bail, albeit with stringent conditions, but I think that the great unspoken in these proceedings is a spectre that is further down the track, and that is the possibility of his extradition finally to the United States, where at the moment the Attorney General is trying to invent a law by which to prosecute him. That's the real threat in this case. Although there are two different matters, yes, certainly, but that is a threat.
Well, today he has actually been granted bail, so his case has been heard and they've won the appeal. Do you expect that once he's out, he's going to continue with his WikiLeaks activities?
Well, yes, of course. Open your newspapers tomorrow. It's going on and on. 250,000 documents they have, the latest lot of documents, and they've released only 1,200. So I think we've got a long way to go.
Why is Mr. Assange fighting extradition to Sweden? Doesn't he want to clear his name?
Because he doesn't believe that he would get a fair trial there, and he's offered time and again to meet the Swedish prosecutor. First of all in Sweden when he was there, and he's offered to meet her here to answer her questions, and again he has not been charged. She still does not charge him, which makes the whole thing seem like a charade to me.
There have been many notable members of the public and of international standing who have come forward in support of Mr. Assange. Yes. Has that actually helped or hindered his case? Because there have been many doubts in the judge's mind, in the prosecution's mind, about all these backers actually enabling him to be more of a flight risk. So have you actually helped him at all?
No, that didn't come out in court at all. In fact, what came out was that a lot of people with some profile in the community were prepared to trust Julian Assange, and that is why I would think that's the reason why he's been given bail. Some very distinguished types have popped up and said, we trust this man enough to risk a certain amount of money and our reputation and all that. I think the judge was impressed by that.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you.
Wilson, speaking to BBC News.
Are you worried that he will have to spend another night in prison, or what do you think?
Yes, I hope he doesn't have to spend another night in prison, but there is that concern. But I think he'll probably be out if they do their paperwork in time.
And the hearing today, did that go okay for him?
Yes, it was considered. There was a lot of argument, but the judge seemed pretty clear, actually, that because so many people had come forward and were prepared to trust Julian Assange, that he was somebody whose trust had been earned, and that it was very unlikely that he would, as they say, abscond. There's no way that he's going to run away. He's come to Britain to get some form of justice. So he got a little bit of it today.
And about the Swedish side, I understand that you think there's a lot of pressure from a political faction in Sweden to keep pushing and pushing.
I don't know about the pressure. All I know is that the senior prosecutor in Stockholm, and her statement was read out today, said there was no evidence in the charges, the original charges brought against Julian Assange, and dismissed them. And they were only reactivated after the intervention of a well-known right-wing politician in Sweden, and the whole thing started up again.
Can you give a name for this person?
Well, he's now the lawyer for them, Klaus Bullström.
Thank you very much.
Why the Swedes are acting? I don't know. The Swedish legal systems, it seems to be chaotic. I mean, the Melbourne barrister who represented Julian Assange in October described it as a laughingstock. How can they keep changing the goalposts all the time and then not supply documents to the court? How can they, there are so many questions.
And acting under pressure from other governments, from maybe the UK or the US government?
I don't know. I couldn't speculate.
Slaughter from Al Jazeera English, because I come there.
I tell you what.
Yeah.
Okay, we're starting at a... What's your name?
Helen Ford.
Helen...
Ford. Take care.
I'm not